My English name is Bill Kramer. I'm born in Amsterdam on 19 December 1934. I joined the Navy when I was 16. After 2 years, when I was 18, I joined a ship for Korea. The Dutch Navy had 6 ships, always 1 year in Korea. We arrived just after the peacefire, so I had no experience with shooting. But we did well always patrol, checking for submarines, assisting to aircraft carriers, and so more. But we had it a lot better than the ships before. We go regular to Japan to refuel, food, R&R for the crew, rest and recreation for the crew. We go in dry dock, and so we had a wonderful time in Japan. And in Korea, I really was there only 9 days. When I was ashore. We were ashore 2 times in Busan and 1 time in Incheon. Incheon is the harbor of Seoul. Busan was during that time nothing, only some American Nissen hut and a couple concrete buildings, but were nothing left. I was last May in Busan and I saw a wonderful big city. Echt. I was in 2008 in Korea. I was not to the Busan, but we were to the 38 border. And we saw dus the only bridge that is nog connecting with North Korea. And we saw also a nice station, train station, what is built for connection from Busan, Seoul to Paris. But yeah, North Koreans don't allow to make the railway complete. But my impression of Korea is very, very high. And the people is so nice and friendly. I have no words for it, so don't ask me. It's too difficult. I was back in Holland in 1954 and I got an accident in 1957 and a medical discharge in 1960. So that's my story.
Well, first of all, you must have been very proud when you went to Korea because you were part of Korea becoming what is today. All right, so thank you very much. And not a lot of people know that the Dutch stayed after the war. You know, people think, oh, armistice and everybody go home, but that's not true.
No. After my ship was nog een other ship that arrives in 1954 till 1955. So
yes, a lot of people don't know that people, the countries that fought, that participated stayed until 1955.
yeah, but from the Navy only 2 men are died. 1 quartermaster gets in a very heavy storm overboard. He wanted to save one of the lifeboats and he was not fastened and get overboard. They never find him. And a radio man in Korea was going ashore with a little boat to pick up a Korean officer that was wounded, to give him medical help. But the engine of the Dutch boat was in Vickers, it's English, and it makes genau the same noise as North Korean fishing boats. So it was foggy and there starts fire on the boat and the noise. So it was friendly fire. But, okay. So.
Maybe you can tell also about what you experienced, the revisit from last year with the early.
Yeah, Yeah,
So last experience with Korea.
I was back in 92-8, and last year again. And last year was very special because the Korean government are allowed that people that died here in Holland, but old Korean veterans, they are cremated, can go back to Korea and go to Busan International Cemetery. In Busan, the cemetery is the only in the whole world what is from the United Nations. And so dit year next year,
Last year.
next year goes the second man,
Sorry.
all the wereld. So, we very short. When we arrive on the airfield in Sean, Nister Park, and a complete guardian watch are waiting on us. And after that visit, we become a DVD with the whole story on it, and a DVD with pictures, only about 700. So, yeah, so we there, he was there, and he was there, and I.
When November?
No, May. May.
2016.
And we
Good
had
weather.
good weather, yes. The first day, on a Monday, it was raining. And the director of Veterans Affairs told us, man, don't worry, at 2 o'clock, when you arrive at the cemetery, it is dry. We go with the bus. Rain. We arrive. Ding, dong, 2 o'clock. The rain stops.
Yeah, no rain.
Well, it was beautiful. Yeah.
It must have been very emotional when you went to the cemetery.
Yes. And what my body told about South Korean and North Korean, we were the last Saturday in Seoul, and young people walk around with a big sign, what do you think about North and South together? So we signed it. No. Yeah.
Well,
We hebben een mooie herinnering gehad.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Ja.
I am going to visit Korea, Busan, the United Nations Cemetery, last. After I go everywhere around the world. And I know that there are many Dutch soldiers.
124.
Not all there, no.
Yes.
Not on the cemetery in Busan.
No, one is in Singapore because he died on his way back to Holland.
Want ze zijn toch niet alle 124
Nee.
daar begraven?
No, two men are missing. So,
How many are there on Busan Cemetery?
122 dan nu.
No, no, no.
121.
A lot of them went back to Holland.
Mm.
The families
Yeah.
took them back to Holland.
America-
I don't know exactly
No.
how many.
Americans,
stayed there.
the Americans are all back.
Yes,
All back.
Americans always bring back.
Yeah.
Maar wij zijn daar geweest toen was...
But I learned that recently some of the Dutch veterans have requested that they be buried at the United Nations Cemetery along with their comrades. So I am looking forward to visiting them and paying tribute. I think it will be very emotional for me.
I think so too, yes.
So, oh,
You speak Korean?
I do.
No.
I will be there in May.
No. Because in the museum where I was this afternoon, we have also a Korean boy that works one in the 14 days. He's working by the Dutch police, and he was back to Korea 2 years ago. He said, it was so difficult because I'm a Korean, but he arrives in Netherlands when he was 6 months. So he don't speak one word Korean,
But he is Korean.
but he is Korean, so well, can be happen.
Hoe heet je weer?
Kort stuk.
Kort, ja. Kort stuk.
Yeah.
My uncle adopted 2 Korean girls. And they have a restaurant in Oesgeest, here in Holland. Korean restaurant.
Really?
It's my, well, they are my nephews.
I told you, my uncle.
Hannah,
I told you.
Hannah, is permitted.
Oh yes, please.
Thank you.